Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first class for 2023. This is class 422. At this time, I would like to bring up the Girl Scouts to present the flags.
Audience attention, please stand. Color guard attention, the flag will be coming down the center aisle and up onto the stage. The flag will be posted on the left. Color guard advance. Color guard, post the colors. Color guard, salute the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard dismissed. Please be seated.
Thank you very much. So there's just a couple of people that I want to point out and thank before we get started with our ceremony today. The first one is our breeder keepers. So if we have anybody in the audience or for those of you watching at home, breeder keepers, can you guys stand up? We got more than that. You know, these guys go through a lot of bags of food. They keep our breeders healthy and happy and help us to produce the wonderful dogs that we have here today with us. So thank you guys. Another group I want to point out, I know I've seen several of them here, so all of our area leaders, can you guys please stand up? You know, we've been asking a lot of our area leaders all along, and, you know, as we're growing and developing, you know, we're getting into the computer age, right? So, which is pretty scary, and really trying to move the program forward, and these guys have been instrumental in this. They're playing along with us, and we're really looking forward to making this year even better than it was before. So thank you guys for all of your support, helping support the puppy raisers. We definitely could not do it without you. So next, I'm going to introduce Jessica Calderon. She is our puppy coordinator, and we're going to give a little shout out about puppies.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to graduation. It's amazing to see these dogs lined up here, knowing that probably about 2 years ago, they started off in the nursery and someone got to be able to send them to a puppy raiser home. I get the opportunity to place those, and for the past year, I've been so grateful to know puppy raisers and area leaders, and it really takes courage to take the time out of your life, especially when those pups are 8 weeks old and you have a brand new baby at home waking you up every 2 hours. So we really appreciate all the time and dedication, whether you're a volunteer or a puppy raiser. We really need you, and we need you now more than ever. This year we've had some struggle getting puppy raisers, so all the people who want to step up and raise a dog and make a difference, please let me know, and please, come to me after graduation and we could talk a little bit about the program. I know it's a little distracting. We have a very cute puppy here that we're going to present like the Lion King. Cue the music. So if this isn't the best selling point ever, besides changing someone's life,
Who doesn't want one of these? Come on.
you get puppy belly, puppy breath. We're very happy and excited to be celebrating these dogs here and the puppy raisers that you're going to hear from. So please, again, if you want to raise a puppy or you're interested, I will be here after graduation to talk all about that. But thank you for coming.
All right, my day's over now after that. That was wonderful. All right, well, we're going to get on with the ceremony. I'd like to introduce our president, Russ Gitlin.
A lot of good-looking dogs out there in the crowd. You guys are doing a great job. It takes a lot to be a puppy raiser and then be able to bring it back for training. And from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of my staff, thank you. We just couldn't do it without you. We couldn't. It just wouldn't happen. So everybody that's part of that, and as she said, it's not just the puppy raisers, but it's the breeder keepers and so on and so forth. All the volunteers that are here, and as soon as the dogs are born, they're automatically, in the hands of folks and training them how to be future good guide dogs or service dogs. It goes without saying that without you, it just wouldn't happen. So how about a big round of applause for you? I see a lot of friends in the crowd, and I'm thrilled to be able to say, I appreciate you, and you're my friend too. And I heard some good comments today. One lady stopped me and told me that, since the last 6 years, she feels really included in on the program here, and she's happy to be a puppy raiser. She's here today with her dog. She's going to graduate. That's nice to hear, but that's not because of me. That's because of my staff. And my staff works hard every day. This is not an easy job. You come in, every day of the week. It's not Monday through Friday. It's not 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's every day of the week. And they all do it in one way or another. So I would just like to say thank you to my staff and a big round of applause for them. So good morning and hello to everyone watching at home too. Welcome to the first graduation of 2023. We have a lot to cover today as we celebrate this graduation of 7 new guide dog teams. These graduations have started to run a little long, and my team blames me, of course, as the culprit. So I promise to keep it short, although I don't know if I can keep that promise. But I am going to try. We promised change at Guide Dogs of America, Tender Loving Canines, and today is the day that we deliver. Together, we have brought confidence, independence, and mobility into the lives of these 7 individuals, and in doing so, we have provided them with the most important gift of all, hope. When these folks return home, they will not only have a new 4-legged partner in life, but they will have a brighter future, one where each day is full of endless opportunity and freedom. Our mission is only made possible because of you. I know Jamie has already covered it, but again, thank you to all the volunteers, puppy raisers, breeder keepers, sponsors, donors, staff, and anyone else who plays a role in fulfilling our mission. Today is a reminder that we can create change and proves that we can and must achieve tomorrow. Before I move on to sponsorships, I would like to recognize a couple special guests we have in attendance today. But before I do that, I actually just want to take a moment. With all the horrible things going on in this country, this is what it's all about right here. This is what Americans. This is you guys. You should really be honored to be in this room because there's just a whole bunch of people that know how to love and know how to really give back to society, and that's what you're doing. And from the bottom of my heart, one more time. Tony and Teresa, where are you there? You're right there. Stand up a second, both of you. Guys, I'm honored to call these two my friends. When I first came on, big round of applause for these two. How about it? When I first came on as your president, I love telling this story because it's probably one of my favorite stories. I was in Texas, and they had a little jet little model jet, F-32, I think it was, if I'm right. And they were auctioning it off. And Tony was there, and there was this other guy there, and they're bidding this thing up, and the other guy's going to get married the next day. The other guy's getting married the next day, and I knew that. And they're bidding it up. And the next thing I knew, the thing's $1,600. And I'm like going to Byron, the other guy, I'm going, hey, cut it out. You got to go. You're not going to go on your wedding. You keep this going. So Tony wins it, $1,600 this thing was. He turned around and he said, give it to that guy. He gave it to Byron. That's fun. Teresa shows up at all sorts of events. She is just nonstop GDA. Everything she lives and breathes is just GDA. She does those bracelets. If any of you got those bracelets on, she does those bracelets. She's in touch with the whole community. She's part of this family. I just can't say enough. Anywhere I ask her to go, she is the best representation of guide dogs. She was here yesterday, and puppy raisers get to see, hey, if I do a good job, this is what happens. Big round of applause for Teresa Blevins. A team sponsorship is our highest level of sponsorship, and today we have a very special collaborative effort on the part of three loyal friends, Mr. Eldon Sextro, the CCAN Foundation, and the Earl B. Gilmore Foundation. They generously joined together to sponsor the team of Aubrey and Guide Dog Bishop. All three of these sponsorships have individually supported us in many ways over the years, and it is very special to have them join us together in this sponsorship. A great example of the sense of community that we strive in our mission. I believe Missy Staten is here today representing the Gilmore Foundation, and we have Annette and Renee Seacand representing their family foundations. If you can join me on stage, I'd appreciate it. Got a little something for you? Take a moment and just thank you. This is like the greatest honor, really, when you get something like this and you get to go home and put that on your wall. So thank you very much. We really, really couldn't do it without you. We appreciate it. Appreciate having you. Missy here and me, we go back now from the beginning of my time. She trains me every day on different things. Do this, do that, do that. So I take my direction from her. She's a terrific lady, and we appreciate everything. The Gilmore Family Foundation does nothing but good stuff for guide dogs, including Missy would pick up poop, do whatever you want her to do. She has no problem helping out. Missy, I love you. Thank you very much. Thank you to your foundation. Again, Aubrey and that's a terrific thing to end up in your home. So. Thank you.
I got my little picture ready, so thank you. Oh, that's great.
No, I appreciate it. Well, listen, this guy, he's sort of the silent guy that just does things and makes things happen. And just really, I just want to take a second and just say, from Guide Dogs of America, we couldn't do what we do without you. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. You want to say anything?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We also want to thank Bob and Bertie Feldman for your two student scholarships. The first scholarship is for Chris, and the second scholarship is for Lynn. The Feldmans are loyal donors and have been supporting us for a number of years. They unfortunately are not able to be with us today, but they'll be watching this on Facebook, and we send congratulations to both Chris and Lynn. So how about a shout out to Bob and Bertie, and a big thank you to all those, to these two students on their scholarship. We couldn't do it without you. We also have several puppy sponsorships to award. Carol George and her husband Roger have supported us for years with many puppy sponsorships. They have had several successful breeders among their sponsored pups, but Oxford is their first graduate, and they wish Andy and Oxford all the best in the future, in their future adventures together. How about that? They were unable to attend today, but you make sure that they're watching us, so thank you. Keith and Cynthia Anderson have also been faithful friends, and their graduate today, Lewis, is one of our 4 pups they have sponsored. Keith and Cynthia, we are so glad to have you as part of our GDA TLC family, and we thank you for your generous sponsorship of Guide Dog Lewis. I believe you are here today, so why don't you please join me on stage so we can acknowledge you and present you with a very small token of our appreciation. With gratitude and appreciation for your puppy sponsorship of Guide Dog Lewis, Class 422. What a great-looking dog, huh, guys? Check that out.
I've been at this for a few years now, and
Thank you. We'd also like to acknowledge and thank puppy sponsors whose dogs are now part of the breeding program. This is a different success story, as these pups are a crucial part of our program and is truly a gift that keeps on giving. So we'd like to thank the following puppy sponsorships: Ethel Friends Foundation, Carol George, Tri-County Mustang Club, Rick Muir, and Roz and John, my friends down here, the Isaacs family, and I'm going to mess this up. Judy always yells at me, Papa Lee Gartner Gives. So how about a big round of applause for all of them? And we can't forget our class donors. Class donors also sponsored a puppy, but the pup ends up being career changed. That being said, I bet the puppy raisers for these pups were probably pretty happy to get their dogs back. So again, it's a win-win for everyone. Our thanks and appreciation goes to Risha Dozark, Bill Hughes, Keith and Cynthia Anderson, and the Sepulveda Building Materials for their puppy sponsorships. How about that? And finally, we have the following harness sponsorships: the Staten family for Oxford, Chris and Wayne Walters for Harlan, Westside Puppy Raisers for Bishop and Tycho, and Richard Steinmetz for Lewis. How about a big round of applause for them? It goes without saying this wouldn't be what it is without the NCL's dedicated members that show up here and serve you refreshments and help us out. How about they probably can hear us, or they're in here. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. And finally, we have our Super Bowl Puppy Squares contest running right now. When you purchase a square, you'll have the opportunity to win one of 4 naming opportunities up for grab, including the grand prize of a $6,000 kennel sponsorship. The deadline for purchasing the squares is February 10th, 2023. So with that, I just, again, thank you for all you do. I'm just one person. My staff are just the staff. The truth of the matter is that it takes a village, as you guys always say, and without every person here, what you do, you all contribute in your way, and Guide Dogs of America TLC appreciates it. Hopefully you like where we're heading. We're doing good things. I think there's 8 graduations or 9 graduations this year. There's going to be a lot of graduations with service dogs and guide dogs and all sorts of stuff. So enjoy, come back to a service dog class, get a little flavor for that, and I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Sid? Okay, it says you, but we're going to go with it. Sid, come on up. Everybody, Sid, she worked hard for 3 weeks here getting these guys ready. How about it?
Hi everyone, I'm Sydney. I was one of the instructors in class. I will be doing the audio description for the slideshow. We have the class photo with the 7 students sitting on stage with their dogs in between their legs and the 2 instructors behind them. Andy and Oxford. Andy and Oxford are sitting on a bench with Andy's left arm wrapped around Oxford, both looking at the camera. Andy and Oxford on their first walk together on Glen Oaks Boulevard, both walking towards the camera with an instructor walking behind them. Andy and Oxford crossing the street in San Fernando with another team crossing behind them. Andy and Oxford in Chatsworth walking on the sidewalk, both looking really handsome. Andy and Oxford crossing the street in Pasadena in front of the City Hall. Pictures of Oxford. Oxford sitting on a bench with his harness looking at the camera, and a puppy picture of Oxford in his yellow jacket. Aubrey and Bishop. Bishop and Aubrey are sitting on a bench. Aubrey has her left arm wrapped around Bishop. Aubrey and Bishop with their first walk together on Glen Oaks Boulevard with an instructor walking behind them. Aubrey and Bishop on the basic route in San Fernando walking towards the camera. Aubrey and Bishop in Chatsworth walking on the sidewalk. Aubrey has a big smile on her face. Aubrey kneeling next to Bishop on the platform in Pasadena, both looking at the camera. Pictures of Bishop. Bishop is sitting on a bench with his harness on, looking at the camera, and a puppy picture of Bishop being held when he was little. Chris and Harlan. Chris and Harlan are sitting on a bench. Chris has his left arm wrapped around Harlan. Chris and Harlan on their first walk on Glen Oaks, walking towards the camera with an instructor behind them. Chris and Harlan crossing the street in San Fernando, walking towards the camera. Chris and Harlan in Chatsworth, crossing the street, coming up to a curb. Chris and Harlan standing, looking at the camera in Pasadena on the platform with the metro behind them. Puppy picture of Harlan laying on bricks with a big old smile on his face, and also sitting on a bench with his harness on, looking into the camera. Fernando and Lewis. Fernando and Lewis are sitting on a bench. Fernando has his left arm wrapped around Lewis. Fernando and Lewis on Glen Oaks taking their first walk together with an instructor behind them. Fernando and Lewis on the basic route in San Fernando walking towards the camera. Fernando and Lewis in Chatsworth walking towards the camera with another team walking behind them. Side view of Fernando and Lewis crossing the street in front of Pasadena City Hall. Pictures of Lewis. Lewis is sitting on a bench with his harness on looking at the camera. And there's a puppy picture of Lewis laying down on some rocks. Kimberly and Zeppelin. Kim and Zeppelin are sitting on a bench. Kim has her arm wrapped around Zeppelin. Kim and Zeppelin. Kim is sitting on a chair with Zeppelin laying down between her legs with a big old smile on his face. Kim and Zeppelin walking towards the camera on the sidewalk in Chatsworth with another team walking behind them. Kim and Zeppelin standing, looking at the camera with a brick wall behind them. Another picture of Kimberly and Zeppelin looking at the camera with a brick wall behind them that reads, "Beautiful Downtown Burbank." Pictures of Zeppelin. Zeppelin is sitting on a bench with his harness on, looking at the camera, and a puppy picture of him laying down, looking up at the camera. Louie and Tycho. Louie and Tycho are sitting on a bench with Louie's arm wrapped around Tycho with a big old smile on his face, too. Louie and Tycho taking their first walk together on Glen Oaks Boulevard with an instructor walking behind them. Louie and Tycho on the basic route in San Fernando walking towards the camera. Louie and Tycho in Chatsworth walking on a bike path with an instructor walking behind them. Louie and Tycho walking on the sidewalk in downtown Burbank, walking towards the camera. Both have big old smiles on their faces. Pictures of Tycho sitting on a bench with his harness on, looking at the camera, and a puppy picture of Tycho in a very comfortable sit position. Lynn and Kira. Lynn and Kira are both sitting on a bench, both looking at the camera. Lynn has his arm wrapped around Kira. Lynn and Kira taking their first walk together on Glen Oaks Boulevard with an instructor walking behind them. Lynn and Kira on the basic route in San Fernando, walking towards the camera. Lynn and Kira in Chatsworth, walking on the sidewalk in the neighborhood, walking towards the camera with another team walking behind them. Lynn and Kira in downtown Burbank, walking down the sidewalk. Kira's looking into the camera. Pictures of Kira. Kira sitting on a bench with her harness on, looking at the camera. And a puppy picture of Kira just staring straight into the camera with a pretty sit. A group photo of all these students near the dorms with their dogs sitting between their legs. Caption reads, "Congratulations, Guide Dog Class 422. And now I will introduce Kelsey Horst, lead instructor for this class.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here to support our graduates. As Sydney said, my name is Kelsey, and I was the lead instructor for this class. Teaching alongside me, Sydney. She is in her third and final year as an apprentice. You're almost there. Before we introduce our guide dog teams, there's some people that I'd like to thank. Our fantastic dorm volunteers who come to watch over class on the weekends so Sydney and I can have a much-needed day off. Judy Riley, who buys our groceries for students in class. The Ashkenazi Development, who allows us to use a conference room so our students and dogs can take a rest between routes. And we can't forget about the staff who have been helping take care of our dogs while Sydney and I have been up here with our students in class. Everyone has a special role here at GDA, and we can't thank everyone enough for the support you have all given. Class 422 joins us from all over the U.S., some as close as Santa Clarita Valley, and some as far as North Carolina. We have first-time guide dog users and some well-seasoned guide dog users. One thing all these students have in common is the drive to work hard. The last 3 weeks were nothing short of a challenge. We all struggled to keep our heads above water, but that's figuratively speaking, since California decided to have a downpour. That week, the cost of a rain jacket increased faster than a carton of eggs did. Luckily, we weathered the storm, and here we are today. Now, let's meet these teams. Andy is 55 years old and joins us from Dayton, Ohio. This is his 5th guide dog and 2nd from GDA. He is a contract specialist who works for the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and lives at home with his retired guide dog, Bree. Andy was matched with Oxford, a male yellow Labrador retriever who was raised by Charlene and Alex Gagnon. Go ahead and get him in.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. This is my 5th graduation, and I haven't gotten through one of these yet without getting teary-eyed. So you're going to have to forgive me if that happens. There's a lot of people I'd like to thank, but before I get to that, just a quick trivia about me that we realized while we were in class. As you'll see throughout these introductions, this group is made up of 4 older people, 50 plus, and 3 younger people, 30 and under. So I've been working guide dogs roughly 5 years longer than the oldest person in the younger group of this class. So I would like to thank Charlene and Alex for the wonderful job they did raising Oxford. I would also like to thank the GDA staff, and they actually had me back a second time. I was last here in 2014, so I really appreciate everything they do. I've had wonderful instructors here, and It is my pleasure and privilege to be part of the GDA family. Lastly, I would like to thank my brother Bob, who is in the audience. And at home, I have a few people watching. I'd like to acknowledge my dad, my long-term girlfriend, Missy, my stepson and his wife, Gannon and Shelby, and my 4-month-old granddaughter, Lennon. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Representing Oxford today is Charlene.
This is a little different for me. Obviously, my name is Charlene Gagnon. My husband and I have raised 4 guide dogs. Oxford is our first graduate. I'd like to thank Carol, George, and Roger Stewart for sponsoring him. Ironically, he is the second dog I've had sponsored by them, so I'm glad to give him their first graduate. You guys might have to cut me off. This is... Okay. I'm a little nervous, so I'm just going to have to read this for you guys. Obviously, out of the 4 dogs that I've raised, Oxford is my first graduate, which I'm really thankful for because I adopted all the other 3. The moment I got into the car from picking up Oxford, I really knew I was in trouble with this one because this sweet little boy melted into my arms and literally stayed there the entire ride home, and it's a long drive home to Orange County. As I get home, here I think that this is my 4th guide dog in training. This is going to be a breeze for me. But the funny part is you think it gets easier and easier as it becomes second nature with every dog. Well, I was in for a loving surprise. So while my other pups in training slept so well in their crate as puppy, Oxford actually had a hard time for the first 6 weeks. Adjustment, and he had a hard 6 weeks of adjustment, and so did my back. He was the one pup I had to sleep on the floor next to the crate with my fingers punching through so he can suckle on the fingers to ease his comfort, which led him to suckling on all the dog's ears. So I apologize to you, Andy, and for Bree. It's a cute little habit he has. Some fun facts about Oxford is he is extremely loving, loyal, emotionally supportive, and the most intelligent dog I've actually raised. He is the only dog that can get through a Kong, which is pretty hard, I think. And he is the one and only dog who got through my Jolly Ball that have been through 3 other guide dogs to get the small little ball out without breaking any of the outside of the ball. He's really good with puzzles, too. He's the only... Oh, I got that part. Another good fun fact about Oxford is his ability to stay calm in public places. His first plane ride, I took him to Texas to visit my parents. And on the way home, we stood in a TSA line with literally 2 little dogs in front of us, barking at him, and one behind us about 6 people back. He stayed between my legs, calm and collective, and they were so impressed that TSA came up to me, tapped me on the shoulders, and led me all the way through to the front. And they praised Oxford with all his good behavior. I looked back at my dad, and he gave me 2 thumbs up. He was such a proud dad at that moment. Oxford's a hardworking dog, and after all of our training classes, he would get in the car. He would look at me as if he would say, "Don't worry, Mama. I'm just going to sit here and keep you company while you drive." But his eyes would slightly close very slowly, and his head would slowly drift onto the passenger seat. But he would remain in his sitting position as if he was up keeping me company. She's just so cute. His loyalty to me is unwavering, and he always stayed by my side. He would always have his head either on my lap or on my shoulder, waiting me to finish what I was doing. I'm almost done. And we would venture off to our next thing. He was always giving me kisses and touching me, Alex, or one of our house dogs, just such a loving boy. I could go on for hours, but I'm sure you get the gist of what a proud moment this is for me. So needless to say, Andy, you're getting a very special one here, and he will no doubt steal your heart. And Andy, my heart is so full and of utter joy and confidence that he is also so lucky that you will be his number one human. I couldn't have asked him to get a better partner. Thank you for having him.
Thank you, Charlene. Our next student is Aubrey. Aubrey is 30 years old and is from Sheridan, Wyoming. This is her first guide dog, but first from GDA. She is currently attending Northern Wyoming Community College and is majoring in human services. She is the oldest of 6 girls, loves the Harry Potter series, and is Team Ravenclaw all the way. Aubrey was matched with Bishop, who's a male yellow Labrador retriever who was raised by AJ.
Oh my gosh, it's already the beginning of the ceremony. I'm still crying. Well, you should know this about me. I am definitely a crier, so I will try to get through this, but we'll see. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step is a famous Chinese proverb. Although our journeys to get to this point started off different for Bishop and myself, our steps will be in sync from now on. I'm so grateful for AJ and her daughter Rose, Bishop's puppy raisers, who did such an amazing job with him. I met AJ, and she is amazing. The strength and the heart it takes to raise these dogs. I wouldn't be able to do it. I love dogs so much. I also want to thank Sydney, his puppy, his trainer. She did such an amazing job with him. He is a wonderful guide dog, and I trust him so much, and he makes me feel so safe. I also want to thank the sponsors for our team. Thank you so much. Your kindness and generosity mean the world to me. I honestly, if I don't have the money, and I'm just so grateful. Okay, I can get through this. When it came to coming here, my class and we knew it was going to be a hard journey. These past 3 weeks have been a roller coaster of emotions, getting through routes and hearing good things from the trainers and the things that we need to work on. It's just been so wonderful, and I was so lucky to have such an amazing trainer in Kelsey and Sydney and my classmates, all of them who were at times very funny and also very compassionate. After today, we're going home, and I'm looking so much to it. And the best thing is that GDA feels like a family. I feel loved here. I feel like I can be myself here, Ravenclaw and all. So I'm just so grateful, and I feel the freedom and independence that comes with having a guide dog, and I couldn't do it without Guide Dogs of America and Tender Loving Canines. Thank you so much.
Representing Bishop today is Chris. Oh, I'm sorry. It's AJ. I apologize.
AJ and Lexi Rose, my daughter. It's okay. There's a lot of us, especially today. So thank you, GDA. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Aubrey, most of all, and thank you, Bishop. You guys are such an extraordinary team. This is my 1.5 time raising a puppy, and I couldn't have been given a better puppy to do this with than Bishop. I kind of feel like I didn't have a whole lot to do with it. Oh, his head perks up. He knows his name. I would not be on this stage today without my daughter, Lexi Rose. She was my co-raiser and honestly the bad cop to my good cop. She knew the rules of GDA because we first got involved with this organization. Gosh, 2nd or 3rd grade-ish. Reading was a challenge, not so much for the reading, but the interest of reading. So in an ironic twist of the excellent match and the connection here already between Aubrey and I. Harry Potter brought us to a program at the Santa Monica Library for Pause for Reading. So we went there, and my grandmother is a reading specialist, and she had recommended finding something that interested her. So dogs were interesting to her. Her first word was gog, with a G, not a D. And so I knew then that dogs were going to be part of our life in some way. And it turned out, wasn't until high school and college that we actually raised, and we were puppy sitters and have been involved with this organization for a long time. I'm really impressed with where they are today, and the breeding and love that goes into these dogs is just extraordinary. So our journey kind of came from Harry Potter to Aubrey, and what a blessing. I actually had something I wanted to say, but it's on my phone. So the last thing I want to say is, people, you don't know what you're going to do as a puppy raiser. There's a lot of unknowns. You don't know how your dog's going to do, and you certainly don't know who they're going to be matched with. And GDA has knocked it out of the park with this match. There was a lot of trepidation for me, not knowing. You never know if you're going to see your dog again. You don't know if he's going to be loved on like you do. And it is fair to say, I think we have a match that might love on him more than I did. So that's pretty special that Aubrey is starting this journey. We got to talk a while the other night. We didn't stop talking. The connections just kind of keep going. And I know that this is an adventure of a lifetime for both of them. Bishop was always excited to get in the car and go on an adventure. So it's kind of like puppy, 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 puppy. I don't want to say it too loud. The connection that they have to that word was an adventure. So if he knew that was what we were doing, he got extra excited. So the gift of freedom and independence is something that was in my speech too, Aubrey. That is an intangible that there's no way you can give that. But today, I feel like maybe I gave just a little bit of that through my love and care for Bishop. So as you begin your journey, Aubrey, I know you have the right dog. He's going to be your road dog, your sidekick, your dude, everything you want him to be. And Bishop, get ready for your adventure of a lifetime. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, AJ. Our next student is Chris. Chris is 50 years old and resides in the foothills of North Carolina with his daughter and granddaughter. This is his first guide dog. He's a software developer and IT administrator by trade. When he is not typing away on his computer, he loves to go fishing. Chris was matched with Harlan, a male yellow Labrador retriever who was raised by the Walters family.
Good morning. Sorry, I am not a public speaker, so I'm just going to pretend I can't see anyone. I am going to get emotional, I know that. It's a great company, a great organization. I just never knew what I was coming into. And I couldn't have asked for anything better. I really could not have. I want to thank all the puppy raisers. I want to thank Wayne and Chris. I want to thank BDA, everything they've done. Our wonderful instructors, Sydney and Kelsey. And I think most of all, I want to thank my fellow classmates. I don't think I could have asked for a better experience because of who I was actually learning with. So I don't have a lot to say, but I do want to say thank you to my daughter Madison, my granddaughter Angela. And just a thank you to everyone that showed up today to support us and get us going on this journey. Thank you so much.
Representing Harlan today is Chris.
See, I know that this is a great match, A, because his name is Chris, and B, because Harlan speaks sarcasm. So it's going to be great. First of all, I'm still trying to figure out how we got here. This started in the summer of 2020. I was stuck at home. I was sick of my family, and I thought, you know what I need? A puppy. So I did some Zooms. I signed some paperwork. And then someone said, drive to Sylmar, honk 3 times, drive through the driveway, and someone's going to hand you a puppy through the window. And that's exactly what happened. We started, Harlan was adorable. You saw his picture, cutest puppy ever. But we got home and we started the training, and I was like, this dog is never going to make it. First, everything was on Zoom. I still cannot find my way around this campus because I didn't come here for like a year and a half after we got Harlan. His sit for greeting was learned like with a screen. He's super energetic, and he would like attack me as I was walking down the hall. I have plenty of holes in my sweats as souvenirs of my time with Harlan. My friends were sure he was never going to make it when they came over, and the screen door was closed, and he decided to just go right through it to come see everybody. So when I announced to them that he had made it, they were like, "Are you sure?" And then I started getting on Instagram, and I start seeing all these GDA dogs, and I'm like, who is Justice, and why is this dog so perfect? But again, here we are today. And also people would say to me, like, how could you give him up? And then I thought, well, I'm probably not going to need to, because I'm pretty sure he's going to lead somebody right off a cliff. But the training got significantly better. And I don't know, maturing is definitely a thing. And we started our meetings finally in person. I cannot say enough about the West Side group and our leaders, Sheila, Susan, and Allison. Definitely never would have made it this far without them. The staff and the trainers here are like just phenomenal. The vet department, I don't know how many calls about diarrhea I made, but thank you so much for taking every one of them and always having the right answer. And finally, we kind of figured out what we were doing, and then we figured out why. And we started watching the graduations, and between watching the guide dog graduations and watching the service dog graduations, when people would say, how can you give up your dog? I said, like, how can I not? Like, this program is just phenomenal. I came for a puppy. I really have stayed for the people. It's an amazing organization. I really just cannot say enough about it. And despite our best efforts, Harlan made it. He is a great dog, and Chris has figured that out already. I'm so thankful to Chris and the love that he showed to Harlan already, and the understanding. Harlan is he's an attentive dog, but he is not the most affectionate dog. I greeted him. He was like, "Hey, Mom, it's so great to see you." And then he ran off and started eating sticks. So, but I'm very excited that Harlan is really off to North Carolina to live the life he was meant to. And I am very excited for the two of them as a team, and can't wait to follow them on Instagram now.
Thank you, Chris. Our next student is Fernando. Fernando is 52 years old and is from the Los Angeles area. This is his first guide dog. He's been married to his lovely wife, Adriana, for 23 years, and he lives at home with their 2 daughters and their chihuahua, Odie. He loves to go fishing and grow chilies in his backyard. Fernando was matched with Lewis, a male black Labrador retriever who was raised by Aaron Kelly Park and family. Bless you.
Good morning. Not a good speaker or anything like that, but I do want to say thank you to everybody here at GTA. It's been a very pleasant experience. I want to give a thanks to Kelsey and Sydney for all of their training advices and how to, handle Lewis here. I also want to thank my wife, my 2 daughters. I have 3 more kids that don't live with me, but they are involved in my life. I want to give them all, Antoinette, Junior, and Anthony. Just wanted to say thanks to everybody. I'm good speakers.
Great job. Representing Lewis today is Aaron.
Hello, my name is Erin, and my family and I raised Lewis starting in October 2020. He's the 4th puppy we've raised, and he was our pandemic puppy. My 2 kids were both enduring virtual high school, and that winter most events were canceled. So it was definitely more of a challenge to make sure he got the socialization and exposure I knew he needed to be a successful working dog. But having him forced me to get creative and get out in the community in safe ways, whether it was practicing walking over grates in the credit union parking lot or visiting the open air garden section of Lowe's. Lewis is the most enthusiastic dog we've ever had. I knew he was a special dog because he has a noticeable change when I put his yellow vest on. He was always excited to go to work. He is also the most unflappable puppy we've ever raised. Lewis can shake off almost any distraction, including a display falling over on him at Ralph's. He was definitely born to be a guide. Lewis loves to siesta in the sun every day, and he's a snuggler. He was known at GDA as the pocket lab because he's so petite, but he packs a lot of smarts and love into his small size. Lewis is the 4th dog we've raised for GDA and the 2nd to graduate. We are so thrilled that he and Fernando were matched. I can already tell that they're going to be a great team. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Our next student is Kim. Kim is 25 years old and is from the San Fernando Valley, and this is her very first guide dog. She goes to Cal State LA and lives with 6 other girls on campus. She's majoring in urban learning and wants to teach kids who are visually impaired. Kim was matched with Zeppelin, a male yellow Labrador retriever who was raised by Mia Anderson and family.
Okay. Zeppelin is my first guide dog, and our very first walk was not what I thought it would be. Our very first walk, he didn't miss a single curb or anything, and I told Kelsey, "Wow, he didn't miss anything. He didn't run me into anything." And I mean, it was like magic. It felt wow, like this is how walking with a guide dog feels like just wow, really awesome. And not every walk was like that. We had our But for our very first walk, I knew that I would be okay and that I could trust Zeppelin over here to keep. I call him Lightning Zeppelin because we walk so fast together. And I would like to thank Mia and her family for raising an amazing dog to just become my guide dog, and to the trainers for all my questions. They had to answer a lot. I had a ton of them, and I don't know what else to say. Just thank you so much.
Representing Zeppelin today is Mia.
That was a little embarrassing how he came up here. He's got itchy nose, so. All right, I'm going to read from this, otherwise I'm going to start crying, so just bear with me. I could obviously talk about Zeppelin for hours, but I don't want to keep you guys that long, so we'll just go with this. Whew. Okay. I'd like to say that I can't believe we're already back here after only dropping Zeppelin off 6 months ago, but a lot of me also isn't surprised at how quickly he became a guide dog. Zeppelin is my first and only guide dog, so I have 100% success rate. To keep or to raise? He was my escape from the COVID nonsense and a chance to have to train a dog again. My family graciously allowed me to bring him into the house and helped me with him while I was at work. It was a huge adjustment, and we all quickly realized how often a puppy will pee on your carpet if you miss the signs. I was very dedicated to training Zeppelin and training my family to train Zeppelin to the best of my abilities and socializing him as much as possible. We wouldn't be here without the help of Hannah, mainly, because she was our trainer there, basically for everybody, I think, at that point, as well as all the other trainers. I would also like to thank the San Diego group and then the Ventura group that I was part of for a short time. Many people give me credit to his success, but it's really hard not to just tell them that it was in him all along. Zeppelin brought joy to everyone who met him, especially our family. And similar to Chris and Harlan, most people would tell me that he wouldn't make it, but I had a feeling that he would. I was also reminded by Tracy, who raised Ziggy, his brother, that in the puppy K classes, Hannah told me that the dogs that give you all of the scars on your hands would be most likely the one to be a guide dog. So here he is. I'm grateful to have had the chance to be with Team Zeppelin for the time that I got. He will always be my little squish, my shrimpy boy, and my kiddo. It is heartwarming to have already seen a glimpse of his life with Kim through Instagram. I can tell she's just as smitten with him as I am. I can't wait to see what adventures he and Kim get to go on. She's already got a list. And we're all going to miss his goofy morning face snorts and his butt wiggles. And congrats to Kim and Zeppelin. Thanks.
Thanks, Mia. Our next student is Louie. Louie is 28 years old and is from the Santa Clarita area. This is Louie's second guide dog, but first from GDA. He is a news director for KHTS in Santa Clarita and can always be found listening to his police scanner. Louie also loves to woodwork and play the drums. He was matched with Tycho, a male yellow Labrador retriever who was raised by Jed Furman and Tay Camo.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Just want to thank all the staff here at GDA for all the hard work they put into these dogs and helping us. And I want to thank Tay and Jed for the hard work they put into raising Tycho, who I officially call Tycho the Psycho because he's so hyper all the time. And thank you to Kelsey and Sydney for all the hard work you guys did training the dog and training us as a team. So thank you, everybody.
Representing Tycho today is Tay.
Thank you, and it has been my great honor to raise Tycho with my husband, Jed Furman. I was trying to get Jed to give this talk today, but then I realized he's a professor and only speaks in 50-minute intervals, so we decided to go this way. Tycho actually is probably one of the older dogs here. We got him at the very beginning of the pandemic, and I had forgotten until someone just said it that we literally drove up and got him through the window. We had him for a very long time. We had him until he was about 2. Normally, the first dog that we raised, Dewey, was actually a working guide dog at that point in his life. So we had him for a very long time. He is very, very energetic. He's not psycho. But I will say I have spoken that he does, well, there's a command that we use a lot, 4 on the floor. Keep your feet on the floor. 2 is good for Tycho. As a puppy, he actually would do something like he would literally leap and spin in the air. So with maturity, I think he's stopped that, but Louis will let us know. I am very excited to have him matched with Louis because he's kind of been through a lot. He was with us for such a long time, much longer, so he probably was a lot more bonded to us. He came to GDA. He became kind of an institutional favorite. He's been in the office of pretty much everyone here at GDA. And so he has a huge heart. He loves everyone. And he just hasn't quite figured out which person, who is the person he's supposed to bond with completely. As I said, he has a huge heart, and I think he's kind of been protecting it for a while, so he's going to take a little while to decide that Louis is really the one. But having met Louis, I have been really impressed with the fact that Louis also has an equally big heart. So I think they're going to do very, very well together. I am looking forward to aw, sweetie. I'm looking forward to hearing about their exploits in the future, and I give you my best congratulations and wishes for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tay. Our next student is Lynn. Lynn is 61 years old and joins us from Idaho Falls, and this is his first guide dog. Lynn has a girlfriend named Melissa who he can't wait to get home to and introduce his new partner to. He is a massage therapist and loves playing the piano. Lynn was matched with Kira, a female black Labrador retriever who also happens to be our only female guide dog in this class. Kira was raised by Kimberly Kessel and family.
Good morning, everybody. I'm thankful for this opportunity. A little scary. I haven't talked in front of a crowd of people in a while. I'm truly thankful and feel very blessed to be able to have been here for 3 weeks, to be able to learn what I've learned. The staff has been amazing. Kelsey and Sydney are very good trainers. They have a lot of patience with us. I admire that because sometimes, it's like, okay, let's back up and get it right, And, it's been fun. It's been fun. I have felt myself have more independence, especially when we went on the night route. I was a little nervous because I'm like, okay, because I don't like walking at night. But I've learned to trust the dog and let her be my guide. And she was definitely a guide. She would never walk faster than that, and then that night. But just want to say thank you for everybody. Thank you for my family that's watching, and thank you.
Representing Kira today is Kim.
Puppy pickup day was in December 2019. She's been here a while. It's her time. Puppy day was approaching, and with a family of 5 deciding her name, there definitely were many opinions. We decided on the name Kira because the different origins of the name Kira seemed fitting. Black, beam of light, beloved, and lady are a few of them. When it was time to meet Kira, we were surprised how petite she was, weighing in only at 8 pounds at 8 weeks, which could be half the weight of some. Not much has changed. She is still on the petite side as an adult. However, she has pretty long legs. Kira settled in nicely to our home, joining 2 dogs and 2 cats. She was a very easygoing puppy, and within weeks, my family was confident she would graduate and remained optimistic throughout her training. I'm not sure how much of our optimism came from being proud-time first-time puppy raisers or really seeing it in her, even though we were inexperienced. Kira became street legal, meaning she had all of her shots and was ready to greet the world in February of 2020. 1 month later, COVID hit, and outings and in-person obedience classes were shut down. We were patient with one another as I was learning to train through videos while she was learning to. She wasn't able to participate in many of the usual field trips and outings because they weren't available during this time. I'm even more proud of her for graduating with limited social experiences. She truly is exceptional. I was able to spend time with Lynn and Kira the other day, and I now understand the magic of the match. Lynn and Kira complement each other well, and it's evident they belong together. Lynn and Kira, may you be a blessing to each other daily.
Thank you, Kim. And now I want to say congratulations to Class 422. You guys have all officially graduated. You didn't
laugh at my joke, no one laughed. I laughed. All right. Well, congratulations, Class 422. We've given you the tools that got those toolboxes filled. I'm not going to give any more lectures, I promise. But we're really looking excited to all of your adventures and how these dogs change your lives. At this point, I am going to ask that everybody please remain seated. I am going to dismiss class so they can go relieve the dogs. So let's give them one more round of applause as they're heading out. So just a couple of things while these guys are heading out. Only about 40% of our dogs make it on to either become guide or service dogs. And so, if you've raised a dog and it hasn't made it through the program, you've heard some of the puppy raisers talk up here today of how they've raised 3, 4, 5. It doesn't take away anything that you did. You guys are still very important to the organization. We'll give you another puppy, and you can keep trying as many times as you want, I promise. Definitely, we thank you guys. We do want to announce that our next graduation is our service dog graduation. We'll be here on October 29th. October 29th. April, March 4th. On March 4th. not October 29th. On March 4th, our service dog organization, service dog graduation. For those of you who would like to stick around and get a tour, Judy is going to be running tours, so you're going to head out these doors to my left, your right, and meet underneath the wisteria, I believe. Yes, Judy? All right. So thank you again to everybody for coming out and supporting us, and have a wonderful, beautiful day. And if anybody wants to hang out and help put the chairs away, we will happily take that on. Have a good day, guys.